All right, so while dropping off that other order, I received a add-on order to another restaurant that was close by. That gas station drop-off was actually not where I thought it was. I keep forgetting there's a cluster of gas stations in this area, but luckily this was one of those gas stations where you don't go in, so they did have to come out to where I was at, so that kept me a little dry. This restaurant here, I was waiting. I was waiting for the order again, and this customer is about 16 minutes away. And usually, because it's raining, I take off my glasses because I constantly have to keep wiping them. So it's just easier for me to take them off when I'm getting in and out of the vehicle, because I'm not looking for items. I don't need to have them on, you know, 24/7. I can actually walk into a place and and say, this is what I need, and because I can make my phone screen bigger. So it's cool in the game. So again, it's raining. I'm on shift to 10 a.m. and then I am going to go back home, finish my grocery list, and I am going to drop Papa off and see what else is good for the day. Okay, y'all, so let me tell y'all, I'm back. This is actually, I'm on my second order. The first one was a McDonald's order. It's literally like as soon as I dropped my son off, the McDonald's wasn't far, so I can pick that up. And that customer wasn't far from the McDonald's. It was like that. I had to jump down the freeway and come up the next exit. Simple. While getting that order, I got another order for Starbucks, which is near the customer I was dropping off. But where I'm taking it, I can see that I have to jump back on the freeway, which I'm doing, to go to this customer. I get to Starbucks and the lady like, oh, you're here for Uber Eats? And I'm like, yeah. And so she's like, so she's handing me this stuff, not in a bag. And I'm like, excuse me? Come again? I said, there's no bag. She said, no, we ran out of bags. I'm thinking to myself, so why are y'all opting for delivery? Because there should be no reason why nobody should be handing somebody food uncovered. One, the weather is bad. Two, it's just unsanitary. Come on now. And so on top, so I'm like, just a second, I gotta go get some bags, because I'm not delivering this order without a bag. It's just not gonna happen. So I went to Dollar Tree, which was luckily right there, and picked up some items that I gotta take a picture of my receipt, because I am definitely going to be adding that for next year. All right, so I'm back. I picked up one order since the Starbucks debacle, and the lady was really appreciative that I took time to package her food properly. Then after I did that one order, I received another order for Uber Eats, which is a Taco Bell. And then I received another order, and it was a double order at 2 different restaurants. So I just left the second restaurant, which was Steak and Shake, and I'm headed to the delivery, the first customer delivery. So what I need to look into, which I already know that I'm going to do it, is purchase bags that don't have branding on it, because when I went into the first restaurant, the young lady was like, we don't do Grubhub, and she had a little attitude. So, you know, I gave that energy right back. But I was nice about it. I was like, this is not Grubhub. First of all, when I came in, I said the customer's name. So how did I get this customer's name? You know? But she's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Slow down. Okay, y'all, I am back. I had to take me a little break. I ran home and I was hungry, but I couldn't figure out what I wanted to make myself. I had a taste for tacos, but I had already dumped out everything for tacos yesterday, so my son could clean up the kitchen for me this morning. So I remembered that it was a restaurant near my home that does like tacos for like $2 no matter what day it is. So I went ahead and ordered those tacos, and I did turn on Uber Eats, but I didn't get nothing right away. So what I end up doing is looking on Instacart. Was nothing on Instacart, and then I looked on Shipt, and it was like a whole bunch of promos, and then it was a promo for the Harris Teeter that's near the restaurant that I picked the food up from, and it was like a small one too, so I was like, oh good. So it's like for 3 items. Promo was small, $10 to $13. But I had never shopped at Harris Teeter. I usually just pick up for delivery only. So this was a new experience for me. And what happens with Harris Teeter, since it's a little bit different, I think it's because Target is, you know, Target and Shipt is hand in hand, and this is an additional place. It's a whole different layout. So usually when I do it, I send an intro text to the customer, let them know, hey, I'm here. If you need anything else, let me know. Well, it didn't give me an option to do that. It just went straight to, like, you see order, and it says shop item. So it skipped over that. So I was like, oh, and I was looking around to try to figure out where it was, but even when I clicked on contact member, nothing populated. So I went ahead and started shopping in order, and when I clicked on shop order, immediately I got a message from the customer stating that she would like for the items to be placed on her side porch. And so I'm like, okay, so it must have, you know, said something to her to let her know I was here. So then additionally, after I shopped the order, so it's still the same thing, you scan in the products, and luckily both products is literally like in the same aisle across from each other. So it's pick up this item, scan, turn around, pick up these 2 items, scan. I didn't even get a basket, and I should have, because I don't like carrying stuff. But then when I got to checkout, it was they have to manually put everything in, so they can't scan anything. So the taxes, if they had to type in, the ID they had to type in, and then the next step was the customer's VIC, and that's like their loyalty program. She had to manually type that in as well. So it was like, yeah, this could be a little bit more seamless than it making it. I don't understand why it goes to that, but I guess it's because it's not their store. They really don't have to put that much effort into telling you where the items is, or make it easy for the store to, you know, check out. But it was, like I said, it was only 3 items, so I wasn't really bothered by that. And by the time I was done with this, I picked up my food, and when I dropped off Miss Susan's items, I am going to start eating it and turn back on Uber Eats and see if they send me something. Now, I've never been one to try to reach a goal of something on the different platforms to be the best at anything. I'm out here just trying to make sure I reach my goals. But I did notice that for Uber Eats, I am like 14 points away from going to the next level. And I want to see exactly what would be the difference. My issue is, if I don't do this the next month, will you knock me back down like Grubhub? So if I do make this level, do I stay there until I reach the next level? We will see. We will see if I even get to that next level. I just have until today to do it, and if I don't get it done today, it starts all over at 0. So it'll be it would be just not worth it. So we'll see. We will see. In order to find out what I earned for the week, we first must find out what I earn in each platform. So let's start with the platform that I earned the least in, which was Shipt. The earnings was $54.37. I did 3 orders. The order pay and promo was $49.37. And the tips this week was $5. So let me go ahead and tell you about these 3 orders that I did. And as I was thinking, like, because I couldn't remember the order on Saturday that I did at between the blocks of 10 and 11, because I was trying to remember to try to figure out exactly what the deal was. But this customer was a gentleman, and this was the order at Target. It's a really fairly simple order. I don't believe I did any refunds. Yeah, I did do a couple refunds, but I communicated with him, okay? The next order was a simple order that I picked up. It was on a small promo, and it was in an area where I needed to go take a break. And so I went ahead and picked up the customer 3 items, picked up my food, dropped the items to the customer. And she did send me a nice text to let me know that she just didn't have it in her budget to tip me this time. I told her it was no worries, because if I sat around waiting for customers' tips, I would never be out there making this money. So it was all fine. And look, her order was only $3. So come on now. And it wasn't out of my way. The next Shipt order I did, I should have just reserved from doing it, because I shouldn't have left well enough alone. But I went ahead and picked this order up, not realizing that I have never done a Publix Shipt order. And if you have never did a Publix Shipt order, if it's not Target, Shipt is not friendly. And I want to say that, yeah, it's just not as friendly, I would say. So I knew that Publix store, so I was able to navigate a little bit around it. The issues that I ran into is that the customer chose count for produce, and that's not how produce is in certain produce. So she had bananas, and she wanted 4 bananas, and that's fine. But I was telling her that when it comes down to it, I can't scan this, that it's the weight is going to be. So are you fine with getting 4 bananas at 59 cents a pound? And so that's where we're going at. Then the same thing was grapes. It was like grapes 1 account. I was like, you want 1 grape, or do you want 1 bunch of grapes, or do you want 1 bag of grapes? At this point, I'm not finna go through all of that. I told her, I'm going to give you 1 bag of grapes. I'm going to try to choose the one with the least amount, weigh it, and keep it moving. So she understood what was going on. I had to ask her a lot of things in here, because she wanted these different protein shakes, or I guess they're protein shakes, like yogurt shakes, and they didn't have what she wanted. And so I showed her, like, okay, they have it in a different brand. And then I showed her, showing her a lot of pictures, because at this point, I don't know your restrictions, and you may not like Shabani's, if that's how you say it, yogurt in mixed berry, but you love the Dannon Yoplait one. You know what I'm saying? So you have to tell me what you like. So finally we got down to that. Additionally, is she wanted a gallon of distilled water. Okay. So in Publix, they have spring water, purified water, and they have drinking water, but no distilled water in the Publix brand. Now they do have distilled water, like they have the Crystal Light, I think that's the name of it, or something like that, or Crystals. And then they have the Smart Water, but they don't have it in gallons. And they were out of the one that she requested, which was the Crystal one. So I went to a store associate and I asked, I said, because I don't know, because I only pick up the purified water. I asked, I said, is the drinking water the equivalent of your distilled water? And so she asked somebody else, and they both decided that that was the equivalent. But the customer said it wasn't. And she said if there was no other one that said distilled on it, she didn't want it. So we moved on from that. And then getting to her home wasn't hard. Her instructions were fairly easy, and she was the only one at tip. So going forward, I probably won't be picking up any Publix Shipt orders, because it's just a hassle. So let's talk about the next platform that I earn money in, which was Grubhub. So I didn't show as much love to Grubhub this time around, and that's because it was too much drama for me from the week before. So the total earnings was $63.36. The delivery pay was $39.41, and the tips were $23.95. That was a total of 7 orders, and you can see they were fairly small. There was not any really big orders like I had in the weeks past. All but one customer tip. And of course, like I said, I'm not sure where these bonuses come from because it's not running a promotion, but I'm assuming it has something to do with if something the customer's doing. But yeah, that's where we're sitting at this time. The only issue is I did have a time where I had to keep waiting for orders to be completed, and that can be irritating because I had to do that twice. The next platform that I earned money in was Uber Eats. So I was so close to getting to the next level, but I just couldn't push it out towards the end. It really wasn't sending me anything back to back that had me staying in the app. But I did earn $97.69. That was for 8 trips. It says I was in the app for a total of the week of 7 hours and 28 minutes. All the customers who I delivered to did tip, so that was a plus, and some did tip a little bit higher. And it's something that T with A Journey with T was talking about, like trying to figure out why it's higher than when you took the order. And I feel like it's all about analytics. It's simply that the customer, that's what the customer does anyway. So there's been several times where I get to a point where the customer changes the tip, up the tip, and they can do that. And that can be their behavior that they do. Like I'm always going to tip because that's my behavior. But if this person went beyond what I'm expecting, I'm going to give them more. So yeah, so that's my little tidbit there. Additionally, with Uber Eats, I'm still having issues with the GPS. Even though I'm using 2 GPS, it's still, like, even with my Google Maps, y'all, not putting the right address. Like, it's, like, I had to go to, say, 1312. It would say I'm going to 1300. And then it'd be vice versa. So it was, like, constantly just double checking, making sure I was delivering these people food off when I needed to deliver these people food. The last platform I actually earned the most money in was Instacart. So with Instacart, it was a total of $103.49. It was 5 batches. The Instacart payment was $47.35. I did receive that shopper bump after I submitted the return receipt. They did pay me for that order that had to be canceled because the customer wasn't available to retrieve it because it had alcohol and I had to return it back. As you can see, I'm going to have a total of $41.14 in tips. And it's just pending because that customer that I did last on the 31st, this ended at 2:28 and I'm recording before time. So it hasn't closed out. So with that being said, another thing that happened is that I was kind of like hovering over 4.98 rating in Instacart. And now I'm at a 5 rating. And I really believe it came from the customer. Let me see if this is the customer I went to. The customer I went to for Sam's Club. The one I dropped the food. Because I was just like, I was so pleasant to her throughout the whole experience. She was pleasant with me. The interaction was fine. And I checked and I seriously think it had to be her. Or it could have been this customer too. Because I did go to Publix for Instacart. But I can't remember what was the interaction. That was the interaction I do remember. So the plus is that I did get my Instacart rating up back to the 5-star. I don't see any difference in the batches. I've been looking all day, seeing if there's this unicorn. And then the downside was my Shipt did go down. But I think there was probably an issue I'm going to investigate because one of the customers shouldn't have been able to rate me, but we'll figure that out. So the total earnings for the week is $328.91. That is $318.91 was in the app, and I did receive $10 in cash tip from 2 different customers. So I did not meet my weekly goal. We already know it's going to be struggle bus. We knew that I couldn't push it out of trying to get 2 weeks of earnings in one. But I can say I'm glad that I did push myself, but I will not be pushing myself any further. So I probably need to reevaluate to determine if that goal for me, my schedule, and my health is really, the best. And I may have to find some other avenues, find some other passive income to try to make up the difference. So if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to be part of my village. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. To all my returning subscribers, I thank you. Everyone hit that like button, and please share this with your family, your friends, and your coworkers. Peace out.